Hello and thank you for stopping by. This is going to be my monthly update for the month of April on my project Use It All Up. I'm documenting using up my entire makeup collection. You can find the rules of the project in the description box below. Let's get started. April was the first month that I, like most people, spent entirely in isolation. If I can summarize how that affected my makeup routine, it would be by saying that I have been skipping my complexion products. These days, I rarely use primer, I don't use concealer, I don't use foundation, I seldom use corrector. I have used all of those things today to make myself pretty for the video, but I'm no longer using them every day. For me, complexion products have never been fun to use, and these days I'm all about the fun in makeup. So I have nothing much to show you in terms of progress in my complexion category, but that's okay because, as I have said before, that's not a category that I have concerns about. A category where I do have progress is the cheek category, specifically highlighters. In April, I used up this shade in my Revolution Ultra Contour palette. I used it on top of the Living Luminizer to stop hair from sticking to my face. They worked beautifully together, but on its own this was too powdery and tended to sit on top of my face, so I won't miss it. Another highlighter that I'm not going to miss once I've used it up is the Living Luminizer itself. Let me show you what the pan looks like nowadays. Judging by what's left, I think I'm about halfway through with it, but I still have a long way to go. Now that I have used up the highlighter shade that I was using it in combination with, I have started using it together with this one, which gives it a frosty, reflective look that I kind of like. I'm wearing it today. I have also found out that this shade I will not be able to use as highlighter because it's darker than my actual skin tone and it makes the top of my cheeks dark, which is not the purpose of this exercise. So I'll be using it as an eyeshadow and occasionally, depending on my blusher, as a blusher topper. So with this, my highlighter collection has gone down from 9 to 7 items, and I also started using one of the two unopened highlighters that I had, and it's the Magic Luminizer by RMS. So far, what I can say is that it's a different formula than Living Luminizer, which is a good thing. So to sum up, one empty and some movement in my highlighters. I don't have any other empties for the month of April, but I do have a couple of new pans. I hit pan in this yellow powder in the same Revolution Ultra Contour palette. I use it on my eyelids. I also have the tiniest pan in the eyeshadow palette that I was focusing on in April, which is the Electric palette by Urban Decay. First, let me clarify what I mean by focusing on a palette. For me, it essentially means that I'm trying to use the palette as often as I can, and that I'm also trying to use as many eyeshadows as I can, but it does not mean that I'm forcing myself to use only this palette. So in April, I used the Electric palette almost every day, and I used all of the shadows in it at least twice. And I did both looks using only this palette as well as looks using eyeshadows from other palettes. I took photos on some days, which I will now show you. Please excuse my attire as well as the fact that I was rarely bothered to brush my hair. These photos also made me realize that my blending game leaves a lot to be desired, but to be fair to myself, I wasn't trying too hard with my application. I wasn't trying to be too precise because we're in quarantine. In the past, I was often sorry that I wasn't wearing the electric palette more often. I tend to wear more subdued looks to work. However, wearing it almost every day in April made me crave more subdued looks. So I learned something new about myself, and it is that even if my lifestyle allowed it, I probably wouldn't be wearing a colourful eye look every day. In terms of progress, this palette is going to take me years and years to use up. I have had it since 2015, it's not new, and although I wasn't wearing it super regularly, I haven't been completely ignoring it either, and yet it looks almost new. Compared to last month, there is the tiniest speck of pan in Chaos, and the dips in Urban and Freak have increased a little bit, but I still have a very long way to go. So for the month of May, I have decided to focus on a palette that looks beat up. It's the Sleek Makeup Eye Divine Del Mar Volume 2. It's a palette that I have obviously used a lot. I have pan in every shadow, the lid broke, it's well loved. I have already used up 2 shadows, the beige one that was here and I adored it, and the orange one which was here that I didn't like so much, but it was okay and it wasn't hard to use. And here there was a lilac shade that shattered and spilled on the floor, but that was after I had hit pan on it. This is a versatile little palette, so I'm excited to be going back to it. I will now show you a photo of what it looked like on the 1st of May, and let's see what it will look like in my next update. As of the end of April, the number of new items added to my makeup inventory is just the lip oil that I got for Christmas, and the money that I have spent on makeup since the beginning of this project continues to be 0. The number of items that I have used up since the beginning of this project is 5. How am I feeling about this project? I'm feeling really good. I'm not in a rush to use up my makeup. I'm simply documenting my makeup journey, so the fact that I only used up 1 item in April doesn't bother me. I do realize that for some of you, watching a video featuring just 1 makeup empty might be boring, and if that's the case, let me give you a little spoiler. There will be more empties than 1 next month. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy wearing your makeup. Enjoy living your life.